Welcome to NACTV Reads the Banner. My name is Catherine Jasnick, and I'm one of the many volunteers that help create programming for our station. You may be joining us online, Neepawa Access Live, WCG 12, Channel 30 Direct Sightline, MTS, or Bell Express View. These broadcasts are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, and donations by viewers like yourself. If you enjoy what you see and hear, please contact us and consider supporting us by a donation or by volunteering. You may contact our office at 204-476-2639 or NACTV at wcgwave.ca. Today I am reading the Neepawa banner dated Friday, March the 17th. And the very front page is entitled Rock Stars, Team Ursel off to the Canadian Senior Championship. And the photo, which you can see on the screen, from left is Coach John Sversko, fifth is Wanda Ranke, lead is Brenda Walker, second Tracy Agonia, third is Gwen Woolley, skip Terry Ursel, and Arden Curling Club President Kevin Paramore. The attendees signed a card for the team prior to their departure for the Canadian Championships. On March 15th, over 100 friends and well-wishers gathered at the Arden Community Center for a send-off for Team Ursel. The curlers are headed to the 2017 Canadian Senior Championships, being held March 18th to the 25th in Fredericton, New Brunswick. The Terry Ursel rink, which curls out of the Lansdowne Arden Curling Club, won the right to represent Manitoba at the Senior Women's Provincial Championships on Monday, February the 27th. The team earned that right by defeating Barb Spencer 7-5. Arden Curling Club President Kevin Paramore said they were very happy with the event. We had a great turnout, he said. Talking about the curlers' success this season, Paramore said, "We are ecstatic, very proud. It's quite an accomplishment and an honor for our club to have a provincial championship." The send-off was also a chance for local curling clubs to support the team as they advanced to the next level of play. The Arden Curling Club presented the team with a $500 donation, as did the Neepawa Curling Club. Additionally, the $1,440 raised during the event was given to team to help offset costs associated with their run at the National Championship. As for Paramore, he hopes they'll be able to host an even bigger celebration later this year. As I said to Terry, just imagine the party we'll throw for the send-off to the World Championship. And we wish them all the best of luck. And the Kelwood Pancake fundraiser to support the rink was held, and there's a photo showing the many people who supported the Kelwood Rink fundraiser by attending a pancake breakfast held on Saturday, March the 11th at the Kelwood Community Center. Organized by the Kelwood Playground and Wellness Committee, spokesperson Jody Fraser said, "We served 100 people and made almost $1,000 for the rink." They added that they were grateful to the Neepawa and Kelwood businesses that give donations in support of the event. And Career Trek grads, On and Old School had 2 Career Trek graduates this year, Kai Norman and Megan Nixon. Norman also won the Career Trekker of the Year award. Career Trek helps young people discover the importance of education and career development by providing career-oriented programming in educational settings. And congratulations to them as well. Now, go back to the beginning here. Neepawa Area Collegiate Institute is hoping to get more girls into the apprenticeship program. They have a photo of Caitlin Morton, grade 11, along with mentor trainees Bob and Brent and Rob at This and That Manufacturing in Neepawa. And grade 12 student Michelle Pottinger is working at This and That Manufacturing to complete her apprenticeship credits. Thanks to leadership and opportunity at Neepawa Area Collegiate Institute, young women in high school are being encouraged to joining traditionally male-dominated trades and industries. Bob Lepischuk, apprenticeship coordinator with NACI, says any student who is in good standing with all their credits completed to grade 10 can register for 7 grade 11 and 12 courses, which must include a math, English, physical education, and history class in both years, and can then fill in their 8 other slots with apprenticeship credits. He says he hopes to see more girls become interested in this education option as time goes on. I've had a number of girls in trades, but they're often more conventional trades, especially culinary arts. They do exceptionally well in it. As far as sort of these male-dominated trades go, I'm hoping that it will become an opportunity for young women to look at these non-traditional trades, he explains. Even if they make a career choice later that's different, the experience in any trade augurs well for a person, just as a regular homeowner and citizen, because you can do things. Any trade is good. NACI offers apprenticeship credits in a wide variety of trades. Those include agricultural equipment, bricklaying, cabinet making, carpentry, construction, electric, culinary arts, crane and hoisting operation, floor covering installation, heavy-duty equipment mechanics, industrial mechanical millwrights, and more. Students are able to do their apprenticeship credits through the summer or during the school year. And according to Lepischuk, every time they do 110 hours of work, they get 1 credit. And after 220 hours, they get tuition for going to trade school, paid for by the provincial and federal government. Student apprentices are also paid minimum wage plus 10%. The government banks almost $15 an hour for the students, to a maximum of $12,800 if they work a minimum of 800 hours. The money is set aside for tuition for trade school. The students are also paid a per diem stipend for having to live in a city or are able to have 90% of their travel expenses covered. And continued here on to page 7. The opportunities are certainly there, Lepischuk acknowledges. The nice thing about it is that if a student makes the decision that they're not going to go to college or university, which a lot of people make at a fairly young age, they say, I just don't want to go to school, I want to work with my hands. The trades certainly give an opportunity for people to do that. Some people are really good at academics, and I would never discourage a student from going the academic route. But if they have skills and they don't want to continue on the academic side, they can work, earn money, and have their academic sessions in 10-week periods, and then move on to another level until they become Red Seal certified. Lepischuk says that now, more than ever, the time is right for women to step up and into trades careers. I think the media has had a large impact because some of the girls have said they watch the Home Improvement Network and they see women in trades where they're doing construction and planing and renovating, and I think that's probably increased their awareness. But then I also just think girls find that they have the ability to do things they want to do, he notes. It's sort of seeing a path that you're happy with. It's sort of following your dreams. And if you have a skill, if you have an inert skill, it's great to follow up on that. One young woman who certainly did follow up on her dreams and skills is Caitlin Morton, a grade 11 student at NACI who has been interested in carpentry since she was 8 years old. My dad passed away when I was 4, but he was a carpenter, so it's a way to know him better, and I like that idea of building things. I kind of wanted to be like him, Morton reflects. When she was 10, Morton says, She heard people at the school talking about apprenticeship courses and knew she wanted to give carpentry a try. I thought that was pretty cool, she remembers. I wanted to get into one of those. I think it was in grade 10 that I started applying for different things and seeing what I could do with it. Now, Morton attends school at NECI while also apprenticing at this and that manufacturing, where she assembles cabinets. I like it, she enthuses. I like all the machines. I like learning about things and just knowing that I'm capable of doing it. It's a satisfying feeling, Morton says, when she learns about something in math class and can relate to it in a practical way because she's experienced it in the field. I really like hands-on learning, she explains. I'm starting to learn that way too, and outside of school, I learn there too. Morton says she's happy that NECI lets students know what their options are for a multitude of different careers and encourages other girls to look into trades as well. Michelle Pottinger is another student at NACI that is happy for the opportunity to enter into the world of trades. The 17-year-old grade 12 student is also involved in carpentry through the high school apprenticeship program. Pottinger says she first became interested in trades about a year ago and was happy with the reaction she got from the people around her, including friends, family, and teachers. Many of them seemed surprised at first, but then seemed interested or impressed once I started to tell them about it, she recollects. The trades are definitely male not dominated, but that doesn't mean women can't get involved. These are valuable skills that will help you for the rest of your life, so why not try something new? Pottinger plans to work through the summer and then pursue a degree in agriculture. She dreams of one day living in a home that she had a hand in building. Trades, she says, is a great way to go about having a successful, satisfying career. It's a great experience that not many people get. Even if you choose not to go forward in your trade, the skills will always be useful. And that is very, very true. And Patsy Cline project is coming to Neepawa for the Kaleidoscope series. Lisa Brokaw is a name we have been hearing in Canadian music for several years. Her newest album, the Patsy Cline Project, was released in 2015. It includes 7 Patsy Cline songs and 3 original songs, and on March the 25th, Kaleidoscope Concert Series presents the Patsy Cline Lisa Brokaw concert at the Roxy. Brokaw was born in Surrey, British Columbia, and was performing on stage with her accordion-playing mother at an early age. When she was 12 years old, she began sitting in with bands throughout Vancouver and joined a touring band when she was 15. Lisa's debut single, Daddy Sing to Me, reached the top 10 of the Canadian RPM Country Tracks chart. It's Kaleidoscope's final concert of the season. The show starts at 7:30 as usual, and tickets are available at the door at Herbs for Health and Arts Forward. Do not miss this amazing concert. You can purchase our next season pass at this concert, so bring your wallet. The lineup for next season includes Gordy McKeeman and his Rhythm Boys, RMTC, Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, Rod Beatty, Bob Cates' Comedy in Motion, and the Royal Manitoba Theatre Centre production. And they're always really good. The whole series is good. Even if you can't go to them all, it's certainly a worthwhile season's pass to have. Neepawa Reads returns to the Margaret Lawrence Home. The popular Canada Reads event is coming back to Neepawa. Hosted by the Margaret Lawrence Home, Neepawa Reads runs in conjunction with CBC's Canada Reads and seeks to promote reading and book discussion. Canada Reads, in its 16th year, features celebrities defending their chosen book and making the argument that it should be the book all Canadians read. This year's theme is books that help us explore the diverse perspectives that make our nation what it is today and reflects where we could be headed. The long list has been whittled down to 5 contenders, and the Canada Reads debates, hosted by Ali Hassan from CBC's Laugh Out Loud, will take place from March 27th to the 30th. Singer-songwriter and Order of Canada member Chantal Kreviasek will be defending The Right to Be Cold by Sheila Watt-Cloutier. The Right to Be Cold tells the personal story of acclaimed Inuit activist Sheila Watt-Cloutier. The book explores the parallels between safeguarding the Arctic and the survival of Inuit culture. Rapper, author, and spoken word artist Humble the Poet will be defending 15 Dogs by Andre Alexis. 15 Dogs follows a group of dogs who are given human consciousness by the gods Hermes and Apollo. Award-winning international opera singer Misha Bugergersman will be defending Company Town by Madeline Ashby. In Company Town, a woman working as an elite bodyguard on a city-sized oil rig is drawn into a mystery surrounding the powerful family that owns the rig. Comedian and broadcaster Candy Palmater will be defending The Break by Katharina Vermette. In a series of shifting narratives, The Break explores the aftermath of a violent crime on a community in Winnipeg's North End. Canadian Armed Forces veteran and Ottawa City Councillor Jody Mittick will be defending Nostalgia by M.G. Basanji. Set in the indeterminate future in an unnamed city, M.G. Basanji's Nostalgia examines the psychological fallout of a society where physical obstacles to immortality have been overcome. Neepawa Reads will take place March 23rd at 7 p.m. at the Margaret Lawrence Home. This year's readers from the community will be Don Walmsley, Heather Saquette, Sharon Arksey, Rain Pryor, and Jean Forsman. Unlike previous years, this year's event will just focus on the Canada Reads books and will be held on one night only. Might be a very, very interesting night. And again, we'd like to remind you of the NACTV Bingo, which is Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. on our channels. Bingo cards are available for $12 each at many of the local businesses. And it is a fundraiser for NACTV, so not only is it a fun thing and you win money, but it helps the NACTV as well. And Kate Jackman and Atkinson's My Perspective column is entitled How Big is Small? There will be some changes in the classrooms and hallways of Manitoba schools this fall. On March 14th, the provincial government announced that the previous government's Smaller Classes Initiative, SCI, will be replaced with the new Early Years Education Initiative for the 2017-2018 school year. The SCI required 90% of classes from kindergarten to grade 3 to have a maximum of 20 students. The new program won't tie divisions to a specific class size, but will allow them to direct funding in ways they feel will better improve student outcomes and literacy and numeracy. The SCI was announced 5 years ago, and divisions were required to be in compliance for the 2017-2018 school year. It created a number of logistical problems for divisions with growing enrollments and fixed facilities. The portable classrooms popping up at growing schools, such as Hazel M. Killington and Neepawa, illustrate the impact. Many are upset by the announcement, but change is needed, given Manitoba's students' poor results compared to those in other jurisdictions. It's timely that the government's announcement coincides with the release of the fall 2016 Grade 3 and Grade 4 assessment, which found no significant improvement with the move to smaller class sizes. Manitoba Teacher Society has come out against the change, which will no doubt reduce the number of teachers employed in the province. MTS President Norm Gould called the move harmful and irresponsible and noted that giving students more teacher attention in their early years has been proven to be successful. The problem is that while research has shown that smaller class sizes are beneficial, the research doesn't conclusively provide a magic number for class size. The most frequently cited study on class size is the Student-Teacher Achievement Ratio, STAR, experiment, which was done in Tennessee from 1985 to 1989. It took over 11,500 elementary school students and 1,300 teachers and randomly assigned them to small, 13 and 17 students, or regular, between 22 and 25, class sizes in 79 elementary schools. The results found that small classes were beneficial to students, improving their standardized test scores in math and reading. But their small classes follow the previous cap. Few other studies have shown as strong a correlation between outcomes and class size. For example, California's class size reduction program, which aimed to cap classes at 20 students, was found to have inconclusive results in regards to improved academic achievement. Subsequent studies show a myriad of factors that impact student achievement more strongly than class size, such as teacher credibility and intervention for the disabled. Studies seem to show an optimal class size is between 18 and 24 students. Surprisingly, smaller classes can make group dynamics difficult and allow more opportunity for individual students to dominate or distract. A large class size is a hindrance to learning, but other jurisdictions have much higher caps. Israel caps classes at 40 students, while in Sweden, classes are capped at 30 students. All things being equal, smaller classes are better, but there isn't a definite answer to just how big a small class is. It's not surprising. The magic number is a moving target entirely dependent upon the makeup of the class itself, the students' needs, their backgrounds, and their teachers' skills and methods. In an ideal world where funding and a shortage of classrooms weren't an issue, I'd support a cap of 20 students. But I'd rather see 24 students in a class with a good teacher and the retention of programming that would have been cut to accommodate an additional classroom and teacher. Eliminating the cap will require some level of consciousness, as smaller classes were shown to be especially helpful for students coming from families with lower socioeconomic status and those with learning disabilities. I would rather see resources specifically targeting these students than spending scarce resources in areas where there are no appreciable improvements in student outcomes. And as always, her column is very thought-provoking. Now then, Rita Friesen's Homebodies column, entitled, I Don't Know How to Love This Many Cars. Old favorite books take their turn on the nightstand. Back again and loved as much as when I first read it is My Grandfather's Blessing, Stories of Strength, Refuge, and Belonging by Rachel Naomi Remen. The stories are from her work, a counselor for those with chronic and terminal illness, and from her life, the daughter of survivors of the Holocaust. She grew strength and faith from her grandfather, a scholar of the Kabbalah, the mystical teachings of Judaism. It is the type of book that each page provides an opportunity for introspection and growth. One illustration spoke to me clearly this week. A young friend of hers, a lad of 6, had 2 Hot Wheel cars. He treasured them and allowed her to play with them with him. Seeing his delight in the 2 battered cars, Rachel came up with a plan to provide him with more cars while not offending his struggling parents. She summoned her friends to patronize a particular gas station that was giving away 1 Hot Wheel car with every fill. Working together, checking awards, they ensured there were no duplicates, but one of every style made to that date. The next time she went to visit and play, all the cars were parked and he was not playing with any of them. When Rachel asked if he didn't care for cars anymore, he looked away and in a quivery voice he said, "I don't know how to love this many cars." Is that why we lose sight of the value of some of our possessions? We have too many. I recall a set of dishes my mother carefully collected from Quaker oatmeal, pink with gray airbrushing around the top. She treasured them. Truthfully, we as a family needed them. And truthfully, I have no idea if any of the sets survived. Replaced by Corral, the indestructible. Are we so inundated with things, luxuries, doodads, and whatnots, that we are jaded to their value and beauty? In the little house books, the China shepherdess moved from home to home with them, Pa carefully constructing a shelf for her, and when all the moving was complete and the shepherdess on the shelf, they were home. There are stories of travelers staying in one short-term home after another, having one table covering that is always with them, and when it is in place, they are home. I love that image. Through the years, I have attempted to downsize. My books are my friends, and it is a rare day that a book that is placed on the discard pile actually leaves the house. I love my clothes, and when I go on holiday, I struggle to decide which ones get to come along. In the china cabinet, there is a mismatched creamer and sugar set that has traveled forever with me. I admire their shape and color. In all of life, I want to be aware of when I have too many Hot Wheels and forget to love what I have. It's always very thought-provoking that Rita writes. And out of Helen's kitchen, Bannock and Pemmican. This year, Canada is celebrating 150 years since Confederation. I thought I would spend the next several months showcasing some old recipes in Canada's honor. When the first Europeans arrived in Canada, the Aboriginals helped them by guiding the early explorers around and showed them how to survive on the land. The Aboriginals believed that man did not own the land and all it contained. It was a gift from the Creator, and as a gift, it was to be used wisely and with respect. Before the building of the railway, there were many millions of buffalo on the prairies, and by 1880, there were too few to feed the First Nations people. Things were changing, and not for the better for the Aboriginals. Their way of life was disappearing, as was their food source. Despite the trials they have been through, First Nations peoples remain a proud and hospitable people and have given us a legacy of recipes. In 1996, June 21st was officially declared National Aboriginal Day to celebrate the contributions made by the Aboriginal peoples. The bannock of Aboriginal people was made of corn, nut meal, and flour, made from ground plant bulbs, millet seeds, or what was available to them. Sometimes fresh or dried fruits were added, such as blueberries or saskatoons. First Nation groups cooked their bannock by several methods. Some groups baked the bannock in clay or rock ovens, while other groups wrapped the dough around a green hardwood stick and toasted it over an open fire. The Europeans introduced wheat flour, and the flour quickly caught on. It is now an important part of First Nations cuisine. To the following recipe, try adding chocolate chips, sugar and cinnamon, dried fruits, or seeds of your choice. I have included a pemmican recipe to help you understand how it was made and how hard the women worked to get extra food put away. And the basic bannock recipe is 3 cups all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons baking powder, 2 tablespoons sugar, 1/3 cup butter or shortening, and 1.5 cups of water. Mix the flour, salt, baking powder, and sugar together. Rub butter into the flour mixture. Add enough water into the mix to make a stiff dough. Knead the dough for 3 minutes. Let rest 25 to 30 minutes. Make into round discs about half an inch thick and fry in an oiled frying pan over medium heat. Cook bannock until golden brown and flip to brown the other side. To cook over an open fire on a stick, take bark off your sticks so as not to get the bitter bark taste. Make a 12-inch rope and twist around the stick and cook, turning the stick as each side bakes until golden and crispy. Wonderful served with syrup. And pemmican. Pemmican was made from the buffalo by cutting meat into thin strips and hanging on clean poles to dry for several weeks, or by drying the meat over an open fire. To the chant of traditional songs, the women beat the strips of dry meat with stone pounding implements until the meat was a pulp. The fat from the buffalo was rendered and poured over the pounded meat until all the meat was saturated. The mixture was poured into bags made of the hide. All the air was removed. When the pemmican was cooling, the bag was turned from time to time to prevent the fat all settling on one side. Dried berries were often added to this. Pemmican will keep for years. An interesting note, known good pemmican makers commanded a higher price as a bride. There you go. And the Plumas Curling Club Bonspiel, their open Bonspiel on March the 3rd to the 5th. Plumas Legion first event was won by Brady Walker, Sean Perkis, Landon Walker, and Alyssa McBride. The Plumas Stop and Shop second event was Alex Kunzelman, Jeff Locke, Bill Banyard, and Jessica Ferguson. And the Plumas Lions Club third event was Chad Malfate, Tyson Walker, Aaron Schmidt, and Jocelyn Malfate. The Plumas Men's Bonspiel, February 17th to 19th. The Ton Seeds first event was Tom Otto, Ross Stewart, Dwight Ferguson, and Alan Stewart. Cargill's second event was Bryce Sissick, Tyler Grumpelt, Ed Grumpelt, and Daryl Sissick. And the Rocky Mountain Equipment third event was Chad Malfate, Tyson Walker, Aaron Schmidt, and Justin Walker. Plumas Open Bonspiel, January 20th to 22nd. The Cargill first event was Jeff Stewart, Shauna Fair, Matt Fair, and Tracy Stewart. Court Seed's second event was Carter Shetler, Lindsay DeHolos, Matt DeHolos, and Jordan Emerson. And the Plumas Club third event was Morley Walker, Brenda Walker, Mervyn Smith, and Brenda Gork Smith. After a short season, including 3 Bonspiels, the Plumas Curling Club turned their ice-making plant off at the end of the day on March the 5th. Increased operating costs once more led the club to a decision to only be open from the end of December to the beginning of March this curling season, just over 2 months. Within this short period of time, they still had a very successful season. The club held regular curling on Monday and Thursday evenings with a full slate of 6 teams each night. This number was up 2 teams from last year, and the club was encouraged to see so many young curlers on the ice. Plumas Elementary School continued their after-school curling program on Mondays and was able to see their local team when the divisional curling bonspiel held at our rink. A mixed bonspiel was held in January with 16 teams, a men's bonspiel in February with 12 teams, and an open bonspiel the first weekend in March with 16 teams again. It was heartwarming to see so many volunteers out to help in all aspects of the bonspiel. Too many volunteers to name. It is at these events that we see the heart of our small community come alive as we work together. We also have tremendous backing from local businesses and individuals who donate prizes, items, and monetary support during the season. With grateful hearts, we know that we would not be able to keep our doors open without them. At our final Bonspiel, we were especially pleased to be able to congratulate the new Strathcona Trust Senior Women's Provincial Champions, Terry Ursel, Gwen Woolley, Tracy Agonia, Brenda Walker, and Wanda Ranke. We will cheer as the Arden Lansdowne Curling Club sends them off to the Canadian Championships in Fredericton, New Brunswick on March 18th to the 20th. And the Hospital Foundation benefit from quality competition. On February 28th, the Neepawa Hospital and Beautiful Plains Community Foundation were recipients of a $750 donation from Rolling Acres Colony and the Prairie Livestock Expo. The expo, which is a multi-species livestock show with over 140 exhibits, was held December 14 at the Victoria Inn in Winnipeg. Since 1996, a carcass competition has been held in conjunction with the trade show, and the pork quality competition is now Canada's largest pork quality competition. In the competition, hog carcasses are judged based on carcass weight, meat color, and loin eye size, the same criteria used by Manitoba's pork processing plants, such as High Life Foods and Maple Leaf. Once judged, the meat is donated to area food banks, and cash prizes are awarded to the top 10 producers. The winners have the option of keeping up to half of their winnings, and they choose a charity to receive the remainder, up to the full amount of their prize. A total of 34 carcasses were entered in the competition, and Rolling Acres Colony, located by Eden, placed 5th. They selected the Neepawa Hospital as their charity of choice, but chose to donate to the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation's Neepawa Health Center designated fund. As an endowment fund, the principal is never touched, and each year the Neepawa Health Center receives a grant from the interest earned on the donation made to that fund. In 2016, the grant totaled $38,060. And a photo showing here on February 28th with the official check presentation at the Neepawa Hospital. Left is Dennis Stevenson, Prairie Livestock Expo, John Lavich, Beautiful Plains Community Foundation board member, and Kim Myers, charge nurse at the Neepawa Health Center. And that amount of that check is $750. And a photo of the Rolling Acres Colony, who chose to designate put their money towards a designated fund, which is an excellent fund. It's money that gives forever and never lose the principle. So congratulations to them all. You are to France true heroes. On Monday, March 13, 2 Minnedosa veterans received the French Legion of Honor, that nation's highest military and civic distinctions, in a ceremony at the Minnedosa Legion. Dwayne Lacoste, president of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch No. 138, said, "It is an honor to make a few comments about two of our veterans, Fred Oberg and Alexander Abel, as they are being recognized by the government of France for their service in that country during World War II. Last May, our branch gave me the special task of researching and submitting applications for the French Legion of Honor for these two veterans, as well as for our comrade Clayton Searle. I am indebted to Reverend Tom Delgatti and his wife Evelyn, who compiled the veterans' military memories. Fred Oberg was 25 when he joined the Army. Alex and Clayton were both 18. Fred is now 100 years young. Alex is 93, and sadly and tragically, we lost Clayton last summer. Fred enlisted in April 1942, trained in Canada until December 9th, 1942, when he was sent to Britain. After continuous training and duties in various places there, he was sent into Normandy on June the 9th, 1944. He saw action in France, Belgium, Holland, and Germany, was wounded by shrapnel, and spent some time in hospital. He returned to Canada in late 1945, being discharged on January 15, 1946. Alex joined the Army January 16, 1942, trained in Canada, and was sent overseas in September 1943. He took part in the D-Day landings on June 6, 1944 on Juno Beach. Alex was also wounded by shrapnel and was sent back to England by boat for treatment. This ship was torpedoed early in the morning of August 8, 1944, and sank in about 20 minutes. Alex was able to make it from the bottom of the boat to the top and was able to get a life jacket on. Once on top, he came across a badly injured Welsh soldier who was having difficulties with his life jacket. Using his own shoelaces and belt to secure the jacket, Alex jumped from the boat, being rescued by a U.S. subchaser. He wasn't sure if the Welshman made it or not. After treatment, he was offered a job training new soldiers, but opted to rejoin his unit and saw action in France, Belgium, Holland, and Germany, being discharged on January 10, 1946, and continued to page 18. Lacoste knew Alex through curling, and in expressing his congratulations, said if he knew a hero was in his midst, he would have bowed to him and carried his broom. Abel replied by saying, "Dwayne, I'm just Alex, and you don't have to bow down to me. I might have let you carry my broom, but I don't think I trust you with my whiskey." Clayton Searle joined the Army on July 8, 1940, trained in Canada, was sent overseas on August 8, 1942, and continued with training and other duties until July 27, 1944, when his regiment was sent to France, seeing action there as well as Belgium, Holland, and Germany. He got jaundice and spent 3 months in 1945 hospitalized. He volunteered to serve in the Far East, but whilst on leave, the war with Japan ended and he was discharged on October 25, 1945. Lacoste said the medal recipients had brought honor not only to themselves, but on their community, their family, and their Legion branch. Abel and Auberg received the French Legion of Honor medals from Bruno Bernachon, Honorary Consul of France. The medals feature a 5-armed cross and green wreath. In bestowing these awards, Consul Bernachon said, "The French people have never and will never forget the act of bravery accomplished by the Canadian soldiers during the Normandy landings to help restore our freedom. I can only think of one word to say to you: merci, merci, merci. You are, to France, true heroes." And there is a photo here with Dwayne Lacoste, president of the Minnedosa Legion, and the veterans Fred Auberg and Alexander Abel, and Bruno Bernachon, Honorary Consul of France. And what an honor that is. And proposals are being sought for the CN property development in town. There is a map here of the proposed development on the old CN property. The redevelopment of the former CN property at the heart of Neepawa is moving one step closer to becoming reality. On February 22nd, the town's Economic Development Department issued a request for proposal for the redevelopment of the site. "This is an exciting step for us," said Marilyn Crew, Economic Development Officer for the town of Neepawa. "The RFP is looking for development proposals for the 40-acre parcel." And Crew explained that a developer could focus their proposal on any portion of the site, from the entire parcel to a small portion of the site, for either themselves or a client. "I'd love to see local developers interested in all or part of the site," said Crew. The proposals are to be based on the development plan released in April 2014. This plan, which was made as a result of public consultations, outlines the zoning and uses for each portion of the property. The site is divided into single-family, multifamily, local commercial, highway commercial, and institutional land. Crew explained that the zoning changes have already been completed on the site. The RFP outlines two major priorities in redevelopment: housing and retail. With a shortage of single-family and multifamily homes, the town hopes that this redevelopment will provide a much-needed opportunity to ensure adequate housing and meet the residential housing needs of the community. With the community serving as a regional retail and agricultural supply hub, the town hopes that the redevelopment of the CN land will help the town expand its economic base and better serve as a regional retail and business center. While the zoning is complete, the property isn't quite ready for development, as Crew said that they are still waiting on approval of the subdivision application. However, she explained that they wanted to get the next step underway so that they are ready to proceed once the approvals are granted. The site will also have infrastructure needs as the development gets underway, but Crew said that those may be partially dependent on tenants' needs. The deadline for responses is Friday, March the 24th, and Crew said that she couldn't comment on when shovels might be in the ground at the site. And we will now just go to the obituaries, which there are only 2 this week. Ron Rubachuk. Ron Rubachuk of Neepawa, Manitoba, passed away on February 26, 2017 at the Brandon Hospital at the age of 71 years. He was born October 8, 1945 in Sandy Lake, Manitoba, to John and Kay Rubachuk. He lived in Calgary, Alberta for 40 years before retiring to Neepawa. Suffering a stroke 17 years ago, he still liked to be productive. His hobbies were playing cards, and he loved wrestling and garage sales. Ron is survived by his wife, Beverly Pazuisti, of nearly 50 years. His 2 sons, Bruce, Ching, Calgary, granddaughter Paige, grandson Riley, Brad, Joanne, Calgary, granddaughter Holly, grandson Luke. Thanks to White's Funeral Home for their excellent service. Many thanks to family and friends who helped out at this difficult time. Arthur Art Wareham. Peacefully with his son at his side, Arthur Art Francis Wareham, aged 91 years, passed away on February 24th at the Neepawa Hospital. Art is survived by his beloved wife of 67 years, Dorothy, son Richard, Phyllis, brothers Mervyn, Lila, Glenn, Ruby, Barry, Hazel, and sister Doreen Sykes, sister-in-law Sheila, special friend Chera Adams, and many nieces and nephews very dear to him. He was predeceased by his parents, Edna and Frank Wareham, infant brother Leonard Roy, daughter Beverly, brothers Jack and Gerald Audrey, brother-in-law Bill, sisters-in-law Betty and Shirley, and daughter-in-law Debbie. A memorial service will take place on Saturday, March the 18th at 11 a.m. at the Neepawa Legion. In keeping with Art's wishes, private interment of ashes will take place at a later date. A special thank you to the doctors and staff at Neepawa Hospital, Palliative Care, Home Care, and Country Meadows for their kindness and care shown to Art and his family during his illness. In lieu of flowers, donations to Cancer Care Manitoba can be made in Art's name. And that is the obituaries. A few of the bowling scores. The Club 55 Plus Afternoon League, March the 10th to the 17th. Ladies High Single and Triple, Vivian Oswald, 263 and 691. And Men's High Single, Frank Parada, 256. Men's High Triple, Don Danoon at 655. It's very, very good. And the Skate Manitoba Open Figure Skating Competition was held in Muscata in mid-February. Zoe Forg, which is pictured here, was Neepawa's only competitor for this event. Forg earned the silver medal in the novice short program event. Meanwhile, in the novice free skate event, she finished in 8th position. So she did very, very well. Brookdale Mixed Tournament, the 2017 Brookdale Mixed Tournament was won by the Trent Olmsted rink from Brookdale. Left to right, the curling club president, Kelly Evans, congratulating skip Trent Olmsted. Third, Kendall Kohinski. Second, Foko Burma. And lead, David Barron. The Brookdale Mixed Curling Bonspiel second event was won by the Albert Naismith rink from Carberry. Club president, Kelly Evans, congratulating skip Albert Naismith. Third, Tammy Murray. Second, Kelly Murray. And lead, Donelda Naismith. Brookdale's third event was won by the Sean Boyle rink from Neepawa. President Kelly Evans congratulating skip Candace Newton. Third, Sean Boyle. Second, Scott Newton. And lead, Rodney White. Most of the curling is being wound up about now. And Archbishop Gagnon visits and blesses St. Dominique's. A picture showing siblings McGregor and Cherish Pepino. Present Archbishop Richard Gagnon with a bouquet of fresh flowers on Sunday, March the 12th at St. Dominique's. The Most Reverend Archbishop Richard Joseph Gagnon, the 7th Archbishop of Winnipeg, visited St. Dominique's Roman Catholic Church in Neepawa on Sunday, March the 12th to perform a special blessing of the main sanctuary now that the church's roof construction has been completed. His Grace the Archbishop celebrated the Mass of Thanksgiving along with Father Mark Phillips, pastor of St. Dominic's, and parishioners turned out in full force to welcome Gagnon, including some Knights of Columbus and even an RCMP officer in full regalia. The Mass was infused with the joy parishioners felt for the completion of their church roof and reflected the multicultural faithful at St. Dominic's, with part of the Mass sung in Tagalog, one of the main languages of the Philippines. The Filipino choir did the church proud with rousing, heartfelt hymns. An 8-year-old McGregor Pepino and his 6-year-old sister, Cherish Gree Pepino, were garbed in traditional Filipino outfits while they presented Gagnon with a beautiful bouquet of flowers. Gagnon was quick to praise the faith of the parish of St. Dominic's, which he says is the basis for all the work that has been done for the church. It's only because of faith. There's no other reason, he explained during his homily. Over the years, you have become the largest Catholic community in this part of Manitoba, and there's a certain responsibility here. First of all, because of your support and because of your faith and because of the growth of the community, the pastor is able to live in the community. So you have enabled that to happen. And the pastor works not only in this parish, but Carberry as well, in other communities around here as well. All these small communities where there is some pastoral need. Gagnon went on to say that St. Dominique's has come to be a major Catholic destination for the surrounding area. This parish has grown to be a hub. It's a hub. It's a Catholic community, and one which, in many ways, offers service and a home for many people in this particular region. And the vision and the faith here is something we should keep in mind, he enthuses. This is not just for the people who attend Mass here on Sunday, every Sunday, but this building, this place of worship, where we pray together, where we celebrate the sacraments together, where we socialize together, is all about building faith. Father Mark Phillips made a special point of thanking the many people who contributed to the roof renovation through time, effort, work, materials, prayer, and monetary donations, including the Raise the Roof Committee and all the volunteers and contractors who worked on the project. 2 new statues were also blessed by Gagnon, one of the Virgin Mary, paid for by the local Catholic Women's League, and one of St. Joseph holding the child Jesus, paid for by the local Knights of Columbus. The statue of the Virgin Mary has been dedicated to the memory of local CWL members who have gone to their eternal rest, and likewise the one of St. Joseph to the memory of departing members of the Knights of Columbus. It's so good that they have that roof completed. It took most of the winter and was a very big undertaking. All right. And now the fans enjoy postseason pep rally. Just over 200 Neepawa Natives fans turned out at the Yellowhead Hall to be part of the pregame pep rally held on Sunday, March the 12th. After an extended absence from the postseason, it's hard to fault fans of the Neepawa Natives who wanted to celebrate the occasion. Just over 200 people did exactly that as they gathered at the Yellowhead Hall on Sunday, March the 12th, for a pep rally. These pre-game festivities, put together by the Booster Club, allowed fans a chance to mingle in advance of the Manitoba Junior Hockey League Club's first home playoff game in 7 years. The rally included pork on a bun provided by High Life Foods. Trevor Lizotte of High Life Foods said the company was very excited to be part of the fun. High Life has connection to both Neepawa and Steinbach, so it made sense for us to help kick off this series in a special way, noted Lizotte. It's not just us, though. The Neepawa Gladstone Co-op came up big. Farmery Brewery was also on site and very supportive. Shaw Peasy, Tim Hortons, as well as Northern Meats were involved with the rally, and it's very good to see. A special thanks goes out to all the sponsors who provided food or beverages, including High Life, Neepawa Shaw Peasy, Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, Farmery Brewery, Northern Meats, and Tim Hortons. The co-op also served as the official first-round sponsor for the game. On top of the food and drink, video highlights from Neepawa's game, one victory over the Steinbach Pistons, were shown on a projection screen for the crowd to watch. Janet Thorstenson, the mother of Neepawa Natives defenseman Skylar Thorstenson, helped to organize the players' family members at the rally. She handed out the team's road sweater to the parents for them to wear during the game. Janet explained that the atmosphere surrounding the team and the community right now has been tremendous. She added this rally was a great way to keep that momentum going. The whole community is excited. People are coming up to the players as of late and encouraging them, which has been great to see, Thorstenson noted. The boys have been saying that it's been a lot of fun playing out there as of late. It's been nice to see the arena full and the community come together in this manner. The festive spirit from the rally bled over into the halls of the Yellowhead Arena as around 1,000 attended the game between Steinbach and Neepawa. Though the result on the ice wasn't what most of the vast majority of the fans had been hoping for, a 3-2 Steinbach victory, Natives team president Ken Waddell said the Booster Club really put on a great playoff pep rally. We had well over 200 meals served, and it was just a lot of fun for the fans, stated Waddell. I really must thank all our sponsors and volunteers for putting on the rally. It's very exciting for Neepawa to be in the finals like that. And for the first time in 21 years, the Yellowhead Chiefs will be vying for the Manitoba AAA Hockey League Championship. The game that clinched Yellowhead's spot in the finals was a 7-4 win over the Brandon Junior Wheat Kings on Saturday, March the 11th. The game didn't start well for the Chiefs as they surrendered 3 goals in the first 10 minutes of the opening period. In the second, Yellowhead replied with a Parker Johnson tally just over 4 minutes into the period. Brandon reclaimed the goal cushion a few minutes later. After that, Yellowhead kicked it up a notch, collecting the final 5 goals. And for the final 20 minutes of action, it was Yellowhead who controlled the pace. The Yellowhead Chiefs will now face the top team of the regular season, the Winnipeg Wild. The best of 7 series started on Thursday, March 16th. The first game will appear as in this March 24th edition of the Neepawa Banner. And with that, that is today's reading of the Neepawa Banner. We hope you've enjoyed it, and you tune in next week to hear a next edition of the Neepawa Banner. Thank you.